So what's up, fellow entrepreneurs and grow givers? It's Juwan Buford. And what I want to talk about today is really a topic that I've been on for the last week or so, dealing with belief, conviction, sales and leadership. And I had a business partner ask me recently, how you stay on 10? How do you stay excited about the work that you're doing? And I did a similar talk about this earlier, but I made an error in judgment, I just didn't say error in judgment. I misspoke a little bit, right? And there's an axiom in the industry that we share all the time, and it's the ideal that amateurs sell, right? Amateurs spend their time trying to convince people, and professionals sort. And that's very true, right? If you have a good enough value prop and you are confident in self, at the end of the day, once again, sales is really just a transference of belief and conviction. You don't have to use crazy, insane sales tactics to take on clients, long as you follow some really specific rules. Just make sure that, number one, you're spending enough time actually inviting people to learn about your business, right? You gotta have a critical number of people who learn what it is that you do. Make sure that you're sharing information under favorable circumstances. Be willing to lean in and ask for the business. And just remember that when people are watching you and observing you, they're asking themselves some real simple questions. Number one, am I comfortable with this process? Do I feel good about what's transpiring in front of me, right? Would I be comfortable with family or friends or people I know participating, right? That's going to determine whether or not they're willing to give you referrals. And then every now and again, if you're having fun, and you're very enthusiastic about what you're doing, and you're passionate about it, and you have deliverables. Some people may even decide to join you in business, right? So you don't have to spend time really trying to, once again, play all these different games, convince people. That's something amateurs do. It's a real waste of time and energy. You sort. You look for people who are leveling up, who are interested in the solutions you provide. Make sure you share information under favorable conditions, and you'll win. Oversimplification, but for the purpose of this talk, I want to go a different direction. Like I said, I misspoke a little bit because there is somebody that you have to sell. There is actually somebody you have to convince in order to be successful on a consistent long-term basis. And that person that you have to sell and convince on a long-term basis is you. Yeah, you. You are the most important person in this equation. If you are in sales, if you're leading a sales team, you're the CEO of a company, you're occupying some type of leadership position in your organization or in a business that you are participating in, whatever the case may be, ultimately, the real person you have to sell every single day is you. The bottom line is when you wake up in the morning, there are people who do not understand, know you, know your value prop, what it is that you do, and then there's you. And you need to be sold out on what it is that you are actually involved in. The bottom line is if you're not enthusiastic, if you're not excited, if you're not committed to your thing, it's a false expectation to believe other people will be as well. For you to have the conviction, for you to have the belief, you have to be sold out. So yeah, you do have to sell yourself. And what are some of the things you can do to sell yourself and maintain enthusiasm, right? What tactics can you adopt to make that process easier? Well, the first thing is I'm just a huge fan of having a vision. Having big, huge, hairy, audacious goals. Having in your mind, or as people say, mind's eye, a destination, if you will. I just believe at the end of the day, we as human beings, we're progress-seeking missiles. We like destinations. We like to know that we're making progress and we're getting somewhere. And so you should have a destination or a goal. For me, the vision is to build an organization, to work with a cadre of individuals, where together as a collective, we literally help over 10,000 individuals successfully make the transition from W-2 to 1099, make the transition from being an employer to being an employer, right? Growing from a team of me to a team of we. Why? Because I firmly believe we can help 10,000 individuals do that. Some of those business owners will stay micro business owners and take on a handful of employees or small, very small business owners. But a handful of them may grow to 20, 30, 50, maybe even 100 employee companies, right? And if you take a situation where you help over 10,000 business owners level up to that extent, you could impact easily 100,000. You create 100,000 viable households, 100,000 viable earners, 100,000 individuals who are solvent and able to take care of their families and have some disposable income to have some of the nicer things in life, right? Then you will have changed a city, county, or state, right? So that's one of my big, hairy, audacious goals. And you have to have one for yourself. It doesn't have to be what mine is. You know, I tend to be a person that thinks about helping people. That motivates me, that inspires me. Let's be frank, maybe your hairy, audacious goal is to have a huge house, have a yacht, $50,000 watches, and whatever else you can find to satisfy the material taste that you have. Hey, everyone to each their own, right? Who am I to judge? Don't spend your time worried about what other people think about what it is you want, right? This is not a dress rehearsal. You get one crack at it, this thing called life. And the bottom line is everyone else is already taken, so be yourself, right? Maybe you're just a person that likes to have fun. You want to take vacations all the time. You want to spend time with art and wine and having conversations about all types of philosophical, esoteric shit, whatever the case may be, right? Whatever motivates you, have a clear vision, because this thing called entrepreneurship is difficult. It's difficult, okay? It's simple. Entrepreneurship is very simple at the end of the day, right? Making sure more people know about you today than yesterday. Making sure that you have some type of onboarding system where people can be educated about your product or service. Making sure that the information is being presented in such a way where it answers that question, am I comfortable with other people experiencing what I experienced, so they'll tell other people about it, right? Creating favorable experiences. And then, of course, you know, being willing to lean in and hit repeat. Entrepreneurship, at the end of the day, it can be very simple, but the bottom line is it's not easy, right? You got to deal with disappointment. You got to learn how to discipline your disappointments. There are certain skills, talents. Entrepreneurship is a skill trade, just like anything else. You don't become an elite swimmer, an elite boxer, an elite runner, an elite anything without putting in the work, okay? So it can be very difficult. And you need to have big, hairy, audacious goals and visions to give you energy when you don't feel like doing it. There needs to be something at the other end, right? Otherwise, there's a million different ways to earn money. You won't stick with the entrepreneur endeavor. You'll jump to one other one, or you'll acquire a job and then come out and do the same thing again. It's like a variety of different ways which you can earn money. So you gotta have a vision attached to what it is you're doing. I'm just a firm believer in that. I know some people say earn the money first, start stacking the chips, find something that is viable, and then start thinking about your vision. Hey, once again, to each their own. There's no silver bullet, right? I'm saying you should have a vision or goal so you'll have the energy and tenacity to continue to do the thing you said you would do long after the enthusiasm and excitement is gone, right? Affirmations is another tactic or tool in which to stay motivated. You know, your self-talk. You know, I remember a business mentor saying it like this. It stuck with me forever and ever. He said, you know, the most important story you ever hear is the story you hear about yourself from yourself, right? What's your internal soundtrack? What are you saying about yourself? You need to be saying positive things. You need to be breathing life into your business. You need to be breathing life into your relationships. You need to be breathing life, because there's enough negativity out here to dissuade you from doing the things you want to do and from achieving your goals and dreams. You need to be doing a lot of positive self-talk. They say you are what you eat, you are what you think. And you are the first to hear your words before they leave your mouth. So you need to be positively thinking about the outcomes that you want to see transpire. Does that mean you're on some pie in the sky? Does that mean you're on some, you know, what is the name of that video that came out a while back ago? See, if I knew how to edit, like I need to learn how to edit, I would edit this piece out. But The Secret, yes, The Secret, right? I'm not on some old secret stuff where all you got to do is just sit back and envision and imagine what transpires. No, but that is part of the process. Right? You need to see yourself wearing the clothing you're going to be wearing 3-5 years from now. The types of relationships you're going to have 3-5 years from now. You need to speak that affirmation. You need to say that I'm intelligent, I'm welcome, I'm helpful, I'm valuable, I matter, I help people. You need to speak those things. You need to speak, I earn $8,333.33 per month. That's your goal. You need to speak it into an existence. You need to say it repeatedly. You have, they say the human being has anywhere from 50, I think, to 60,000. Yeah. 50 to 60,000 thoughts per day, and that over like 90% of them are negative. You got to offset that, right? That's not a you thing. That's a human being thing. Humans have that many negative thoughts per day. We're hotwired for it. It's called evolution. That's how we evolved, and that's why we survived. But it doesn't serve very well when you're building a business, okay? That was very good when we had to worry about lions, tigers, bears, and other animals before we, evolved and with tools and weapons to defend ourselves, we had to be afraid and negative all the time, right? That doesn't work in entrepreneurship. Okay, so you got to be enthusiastic. You got to be on 10 about what it is you do. So you got to be looking at your affirmations on a daily basis, right? They should be omnipotent in your cell phone, in your notebook, in your planner, on your screensaver, inside your hat, whatever the case may be. You need to be looking at things that remind you of what's good in life and remind yourself that, your business is viable and you're a good person and you're serving, you're helping people. That's so absolutely important. Okay, I can't say that enough. All right. But here's the other thing. You also need to see yourself enthusiastically doing the work. See, that's the other piece people don't talk about. Oftentimes people want the accoutrements to success, but they don't want to imagine or see themselves enthusiastically doing the work, right? One of the tactics that I started out with years ago, still utilize to this day, is just ask yourself, what are the top 3 things I need to do on a daily basis to make today a masterpiece? What are the top 3 things I need to do to get me that much closer to what I'm taking aim at? You should not write down a list of 10, 20 things, because if something happens where you only knock off 2 or 3 things off the list and you're feeling some kind of way about yourself because you got a list of 10 to 20 items and you only knocked off 2, you feel like you didn't accomplish much. Write down the top 3, right? Take time to identify what are the top 3 things that make the biggest difference in your business. For me, reading is very important. Purposeful learning is very important. Learning gives me energy. It also helps me become more ready, more knowledgeable, more conversational, to be able to better meet people where they're at and understand the environment around me. That type of stuff gives me energy. So for me, that's one of the best things I can do for myself on a consistent basis. And I write that down. I literally write it down. The other thing, of course, that matters most in terms of my business is making sure that I do something every single day to make sure more people learn about my business today than yesterday. That's got to happen, right? That's an activity. And every single day I write that down. What am I going to do for more people to learn about me today, right? What are the top 3 things that make the biggest difference in your life? And for the purpose of this discussion, your business life, right? Your business life. Obviously, you may have top 3 things for your family. Top 3 things because you have some type of role in an organization or some type of altruistic endeavor at your church, whatever the case may be. But write down 3 things that if you did them, it would move the ball forward. And see yourself enthusiastically doing it. And it builds confidence, right? The being is in the doing. And the more you do something, the better you get at it. The more consistent you become, 9 times out of 10, you feel better about it. You grow in confidence. You start to enjoy. It's amazing how the human beings work, right? We tend to like the things that we're good at. So do that for yourself. Set an activity goal. Whether it's 10 pages, 20 pages. Okay, you don't read. Okay, 15, 20 pages of a podcast. Not entertainment, something that actually sharpens the saw and helps you become more effective at the thing that you do, right? I talked about the read the 10 pages of a good book. That was kind of like the other thing I was going to say, just be constantly learning. Once again, the more confident and more informed you are, the more apt you are to take action. A lot of times people have fear about the unknown. And if you are consuming content that kind of sheds a light that fear is just false evidence appearing real, that there are other people who are achieving and succeeding other than you, that is an important deal. Something that I throw in, workout. I don't care if it's 5, 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes, 30 minutes. You do not need to work out 2 hours a day. You don't need to work out an hour a day to get in decent shape. A quick 10, 15 minute workout, do 2 minutes of planks. You can't do 2 minutes, do 30 seconds. Do a minute of planks. Do 2 minutes of planks every single day for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. It will make a huge difference in your life. Do something that gives you energy physically, because once again, being an entrepreneur can be taxing psychologically, mentally, spiritually, and people forget physically. There are going to be long nights. There are going to be all-nighters. There's going to be times where you do need to push yourself physically because your work requires that of you, because your goals require that of you. And oftentimes we don't talk about that enough, right? About your health. I'll leave it at that. So find something. Jump rope, walk, run, push-ups, calisthenics, just simple little things you can do in your living room. You'd be surprised at the difference it would make. And of course, also Look, they say you are what you think, you also are what you eat. I'm reversing it. Yeah, watch the diet. I mean, look, you got this one body. This body's got to carry you. And, people put a lot of value on money. When you're hurting and you're in pain and your body's failing you, you'll find out what's really valuable in life. So take care of yourself. And then, of course, last but not least, talk to people. Find people who are moving forward. Find people who are leveling up. You got to make that part of your diet. You got to be around people who are having success and have positive attitude, and they're optimistic and they're achieving. You got to let that rub off on you. I've heard it said, if you hang around 6 cursing cousins, you become the 7th. You hang around 6 people who are leveling up, moving forward in life, doing the right things. One or two things are going to happen. Either they're going to be alienated by you because you're not doing what you should do and you're not going to be friends with them much longer. Or what's going to end up happening is you're going to alienate them, or vice. The bottom line is going to be alienation. Okay. And you're not going to be around them much longer. Optimistic people don't hang around with negative people. Doers don't hang around with not doers, non-doers. It just doesn't work, right? It's like, oil and water. So make an effort. For me, when I first started my entrepreneurial journey, I grew up Highland Park. I grew up west side of Detroit. I didn't have too many role models or too many individuals who were having success as entrepreneurs legally. So what did I end up doing? I ended up reading books. I ended up listening to podcasts. I ended up listening to tapes, videos. If I didn't have the circle around me, I created a circle around me. I had conversations with the people that I wanted to be like. And I went and found their autobiographies and I read their stuff, right? Sometimes it's no different today. If there's a particular goal that I'm taking aim at or something I want to accomplish and no one in my circle has accomplished it, I can't let something rub off on me from my current circle. I'm going to either find a new circle or I'm going to find a book, podcast. There's so much content out there. It's just no excuse. So these are the things you can do to sell yourself. These are the things you can do to continue to create belief and conviction. Because ultimately, there is somebody you need to sell. That person is you. You get sold out on your vision, your purpose, what you're taking aim at. You need to speak life into everything that you do. You need to be affirmative in everything that you do. And once again, be careful about the things that you allow through your eyes and through your ears and into your heart. Celebrate success in advance. Goodbye for now.